All right, we're going to talk to Angie Thomas, why she became an international phenomenon back in 2017 after the remarkable success of her debut novel is called The Hate U Give. It has been on the New York Times bestseller list for more than 200 weeks. You go, Angie Thomas. It was adapted into a hit movie. Actors Amandla Stenberg and Russell Hornsby portrayed 16-year-old Star Carter and her father, Maverick. Now her new novel, Concrete Rose, brings readers back to the origin of the story, Maverick Carter, 17 years before the events of The Hate U Give. Angie Thomas joins us now for an interview. She's in Mississippi for a story that you'll see first on CBS This Morning. Good to see you, Angie Thomas.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you got big reason to smile because, you know, The Hate U Give was so successful. Did you think, you know, I need to go back and revisit those characters? Was that always your intention, to go back and do a prequel?
It wasn't. I thought I was done with these characters for good.
What happened?
I wrote the end on The Hate U Give.
Yeah.
My readers, that's what happened. When I went out on the road to promote The Hate U Give, I was surprised to learn that my readers wanted to know about Star's dad, Maverick, the most, sometimes more than they wanted to know about Star. In The Hate U Give, we see him as this father who is very active in his kids' lives, as this outstanding pillar in the community, but we also know that he has a past. He talks about it in The Hate U Give, how he once sold drugs and he was once in a gang. And people always ask me, how did he become the person we see in The Hate U Give? And I felt that the best way to answer their questions was to write a book.
Yes, I mean, I was so surprised when I started reading. I went, hey, this goes back to the other story. Was there also something, you know, because you talk about different layers of black men's stories, which I also thought was interesting. And it almost seemed that you were saying that it can be complicated, it can be layered, but there's a big foundation of black men, who they are and why they are. I thought this was a very important thing you were also telling, Angie.
Absolutely, absolutely. We see so many instances now where black men and black boys aren't humanized. Yeah. They're killed because they're seen more as threats, as things that go bump in the night, and not as full human beings. And as an author, I understand the importance of what I do and how it can help shape perspectives and change bias. So when writing Maverick, I'm writing this young man, who has done what people would call quote unquote stereotypical things. Yeah, he's in the gang and he sells drugs, but also he's a young man who wants to be protected. I think that's something we can all identify with as human beings. He's a young man who wants to help his mom out and provide for his family. That's something we can all identify with. So as an author, I try to look at the whys and show the people rather than the issues or the stereotypes.
It's a whys. You also talk about the vulnerabilities, Angie. Talk about that for a second. I was very, very touched by that.
Yeah, there are a lot of scenes in Concrete Rose where we see Maverick being vulnerable. We see him crying. And you would think, oh, that's just a person, that's a human being. But so often society makes black boys feel as if they can't cry, they can't be vulnerable. And that goes hand in hand with dehumanizing them. Yep. And again, as an author, it's part of my responsibility to show human beings. So I wanted scenes in there where he cries. In fact, I had so many black men and black boys tell me, please show him crying, please show those scenes, because people think we're not capable of that. Yeah. And it's sad that this is like a bare minimum thing black men and black boys are asking for me as an author, and I figured that's the least I can do.
Yes, black men have feelings. There's a great line in the book where you said sometimes one person's hero is another person's monster.
Yes. I think we're seeing proof of that lately. But it's about perspective. It's about perspective. And Maverick says that in reference to an incident that happens in his community. He also says it in reference to his father, who was known around the neighborhood for being a gang legend. And had he been on the news, had his mugshot been on the news, people would assume, oh, this is a monster. This is a monster. This is a heartless man. But for Maverick, he was his father. For Maverick, that was his hero. Yeah. For Maverick, he was so much more than a mugshot.
Yep.
And we don't nearly talk about human beings enough when it comes to when we see people who've committed crimes. We don't talk about the human element enough. And as
the
a
effect
writer,
that it
again,
has on children,
as part of my responsibility.
And the effect that it has on children, you say, listen, even the murderers have families who care about them. And the fact that going to prison, how that affects the family. Your book is very layered, Angie.
Yes, we don't talk about kids enough.
Your book is very
you.
layered. Listen, we were watching you when Tony was doing his chicken story. We saw you, Angie Thomas. You were laughing. You seemed to have some thoughts. Do you want to vote for a favorite fried chicken just because we saw you laughing?
I will have to say that for Mississippi, the best fried chicken is not at a fast food restaurant.
Ooh, fighting words.
You gotta find a good hole-in-the-wall joint in Mississippi to get the good fried chicken.
Okay.
Don't do Popeyes.
No, those are fighting words.
Wow.
You want to name the place in Mississippi? What is it?
Well, there are several. A lot
Just
of people
give me
talk
one.
about
Just
one
give me
called
one.
Two Sisters.
Who?
Two Sisters.
Two Sisters. Okay.
All right.
If I'm in Mississippi, I'm going there. Angie Thomas, thank you. The name of the book, Concrete Rose, goes on sale. Hey, where's the title come from quickly? Concrete Rose. What is that?
It comes from a Tupac poem called "The Rose That Grew from Concrete."
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Angie. Always good to see you.
Gail, I can't believe you still didn't think I like fried chicken. It's like not liking dogs or laughing.
I just asked.
I just wanted to be sure.
Because I've never seen you.
You don't like
eating fried
smiling, though,
chicken.
Tony. I didn't like you. I didn't like smiling.